Yeah, so my name is, just introduce yourselves. My name is Parth, and that's Audit, and we're both members of the W3B team. And today's workshop is about automation in finance.
All right. So just today's agenda for the workshop. First of all, of course, we're going to just define automation in finance, get that out of the way. Then we're going to talk about a little about the current landscape of finance, how things are moving in the world right now. This will be general as well as with regards to automation. Next, we'll talk about benefits of automation in finance. Um, then we'll give you guys a few examples with types of financial automation. Then we'll give you guys strategies where you can implement this on by yourself. I don't know how many of you have used ChatGPT, but you can even use it on that. Then we'll give you challenges and solutions. So this is like challenges that real world people have had to go through in order to reach full automation, and some data privacy concerns that we feel that all of you should be aware about if you guys are to use automation in finance. Then we're going to give you future trends that we can kind of forecast right now, case studies, some more real world examples, and then industry specific considerations. So essentially, if my industry is X, Y, or Z, how would automation help me specifically?
And before we move into something else, just a quick quote: "Automation has the power." Can you do it?
Yeah, sorry guys, I think Parts lost his voice. But so just a quote that kind of encompasses all of this and should make you guys aware of just the power of automation. Elon Musk said, "Automation has the power to take over almost every single industry in modern society today." So moving on, what exactly is automation in finance? So firstly, automation refers to the use of technology to automate and streamline financial processes. This can be data entry. So, for example, you have millions of data points in the stock market, just entering that into your own algorithm and system. And it could even be decision making, such as like a credit score. That would be an example of an automation making a decision for you that you have no control over. So, next, automation encompasses a wide range of applications, including like robotic applications, AI, and machine learning. We'll talk more about these later. Next, automation is designed just to improve efficiency, reduce errors, and free up time for humans to do different things. Next, we're going to talk about the current landscape of finance. First, there are many manual processes at this time because automation has not completely taken over. So there's massive uses of of manual processes, specifically in things like data entry, bookkeeping, and documentation. This is a lot of what uh, this is what a lot of people in finance at lower positions do, and it's pretty labor intensive and time consuming. But this is mainly the job of someone like an accountant. And the scary thing is automation can get rid of all of this. Next, let's talk about a couple challenges faced by financial systems. First, there's massive inefficiencies, errors, and delays associated with manual processes. For example, for a person, or let's say a group of people, to put in hundreds of thousands of data points, it would take maybe a week, probably more, depending on how much they work. However, you could just feed those data points straight into an AI or an ML process, and it would provide you with an in-depth analysis right away. Next, the overall impact of overall performance on their financial systems. So what this means is in that week that it would take people to manually input the data points, um, it would actually mean that things have moved on, right? So you need in finance, especially, you need to stay current. So that's kind of one of the challenges. Next, the importance of automation. And so there's a massive need for automation, which has a huge role in streamlining processes, improving efficiency, and reducing errors, just combining all the things that I talked about previously. Let's talk about
So
three quick benefits of automation. Parth, do you want to do this one?
yeah, I got you. So some benefits of automation. There's a variety of things implementing automation in finance. First, automation leads to improved accuracy and reduction of errors in financial processes. So, for example, instead of accountants having to do everything manually, now it's all automated, reducing that human risk and that human error, which is extremely important and beneficial for the company. Next, this can lead to increased efficiency and time savings achieved through automated tasks, which were previously done manually. Now, using the same example that I just mentioned, imagine we replace an accountant with just technology or an AI software. This reduces ongoing costs as well as efficiency overall for the company. And lastly, like I mentioned earlier, just a combination cost reduction and resource optimization are the results of streamlining processes and eliminating redundant tasks. And this is not just applied to accounting. Almost all financial tasks have to do with some type of all numbers, and this can all be automated, like mentioned earlier, through technology.
So next we're just going to talk about some quick forms of automation, kind of those real world examples. So first is algorithmic trading. Now this is a really big one that's being used in Wall Street as we speak. Actually, not as we speak, but when markets are open, this will be used. But essentially, this is using ML to you feed in stock market data into an ML algorithm, and then that machine learning algorithm learns based on that stock market data how it believes that the stock market will then move, and it gives you predictions. So this is really, really big because no human has really ever been able to do that without taking a very, very long time amount of time. And we'll actually talk about a human that kind of did do something similar to that later. Next would be risk management. So this is like risk management and then third credit scoring. You can kind of group these into one category. So, for example, credit scoring is a form of risk management. If you have a low credit score, you're not really going to get a loan from your house for a bank for a good interest rate because they're averting some risk by giving you a higher interest rate. So just in case anything does go wrong and you miss a couple payments because of your low credit score, the bank will still remain in profit. Fourth, algorithmic pricing. So this is kind of used for IPOs, initial public offering, and just prices of products in your everyday life as well. It essentially just uses an algorithm and feeds data into an ML algorithm, kind of like the first one, algorithmic trading. However, it just provides a price that it believes would be the most effective and have the highest profit margins while still being able to sell. Next is fraud detection. So this is a big thing. So AI can actually detect financial fraud using algorithms. There are many different ways that it can do this. For example, if an AI detects that a stock is moving in a way that it's being constantly shorted, then that would be financial fraud, and it can notify you of that. Finally, the blockchain, although it's kind of died down and lost a little bit of hype, um, it's still a big thing. But decentralized tech, I think they're one of the pioneers of using AI, as because they aren't as much as a proving ground as like the stock market is. Many people are on the blockchain using AI to kind of help shape their ideas on that.
So now that we've spoken
Okay.
about all the benefits and the importance of automation, let's talk a little bit about specific techniques that we could implement. So first is robotic process. Oh, everybody hold questions for the end. We're gonna have a quick Q&A session. So robotic process automation or RPA is used to automate manual repetitive tasks such as data entry, processing across multiple systems. So for example, if there was someone in a company just looking at like spreadsheets, moving numbers from here to there, that can all be automated through RPA. Next, which I'm sure you guys have heard of, artificial intelligence. So the application of AI in finance is extremely wide. It can be used for areas like fraud detection, credit underwriting, and investment management, like Audit mentioned a little bit earlier. This helps streamline complex processes and decision making, taking the load off human manual work. Next, ML applications. So machine learning enables systems to automatically learn and improve from experience, which is a crucial capability in finance for risk assessment and predictive analysis. So this is because, like Ada mentioned earlier, we can use ML to detect fraud. So how this works is it looks at previous fraud cases and learns from it so it can recognize it in the future. And this can be applied throughout all financial industries. And lastly, we have workflow automation. This automates is automating a multi-step cross-department processes such as approvals and document handling for once again increased efficiency and reduced errors. So as you guys can see, there's a little wide trend that you guys can see over here with most of the benefits of automation is including reducing cost and increasing efficiency, things that are important for all companies at all times.
So next, some implementation and strategies for AI, ML, everything. But so if you were to use it, these were the four steps that you should take to use AI and ML. Firstly, establish a clear plan for the implementation, including a timeline and milestones that you hope to reach. So like finding a software developer, making the software, things like that. And if you guys are planning to do the pitch fest tomorrow, you guys should be taking notes on this stuff, as if you do include things that we talk about, such as establishing a timeline, milestones, um, it'll benefit you. Next, identify the key areas and processes that require automation. So essentially, find a part of the market that you can contribute to that somebody hasn't contributed to yet. Next, select and integrate the right technologies to support your goals. So, for example, an AI about how many customers would show up based on a certain price point wouldn't work for a company that wants to create new designs. So you have to select the right AI for your goals. Finally, develop a change management strategy to ensure the smooth adoption of the automated process. So what this means is basically just have a strategy after you're done with everything. You found the right AI, integrate it slowly into your business, but make sure that you have a process in your mind so you know what to do.
So, like everything, there are some positives, but there all are also some negatives. So, let's talk about some challenges and solutions, as well as some security and data privacy concerns. So, the first thing that we've run into is the finance industry is highly regulated and requires security measures, very strict security measures, in order to protect sensitive data. So a solution for this is implementing advanced encryption, multi-factor authentication, as well as regular security audits. Because implementing automation where robots are doing all the work for you poses a massive data risk for the company. Next, there could be resistance to change and adopting new automated processes and technologies. So with some older people in the field of finance, that could be a little bit resistant, or there could be a little bit of a learning curve for them. And a solution for this is providing comprehensive training and demonstrating the benefits of automation to them, as well as addressing employee concerns about job security. So this is a huge problem for society as a whole, in my opinion, as I believe automation will be taking over a lot of jobs. So these people need to be doing something, which is a problem that we need to address.
Finally, I mean, sorry, not finally, but let's talk about some future trends of financial automation, kind of wrapping up what we've been talking about right now. So, primarily, we see AI advancements becoming huge. You can already see this as like a lot of companies, instead of having like a person as a chatbot, they have an AI chatbot, which will give you so much more information about their product so much quicker. And so the continued integration of AI in finance, not just finance, but all real world, with the focus on automation and essentially just streamlining all the tasks that would have taken manpower previously. Next, we see the growth of ML. So what this means is after the as time goes on, more and more data points will be fed into ML, which means the ML algorithms will get even better and better. And so we believe that there will be a much larger increased use of ML for data analysis, pattern recognition, and even insights in finance. Finally, for our future predictions, we believe that the growth of AI and ML would be the cornerstone of financial automation. So essentially, we think that AI and ML will be the only two things that will be like wrecking balls in the financial space. Sure, there will be different forms of automation that will come out, like robots, whatnot. However, we believe that AI and ML will really be the biggest things. Nothing will overtake them ever. And so this is an example of a hedge fund that uses AI. It's called Renaissance Technologies. It was founded by James Harris Simons. He got a PhD from math from MIT, and he went in academia a bit and taught at MIT, but then founded Renaissance Technologies in 1982, not 1892. Sorry, that's a little typo. The hedge fund implemented complex mathematical models for their trading. So, using his background in math, he was able to find a mathematical theorem that you'll see a little bit about on the next page. And using these and high frequency trading strategies, so essentially making really, really quick trades based on what this mathematical model set, they were able to make a lot of money. And so they later on did utilize ML technologies. Um, and fed in data points and then just gave ML the algorithm, so it just told them when to buy and sell, and also leveraged AI to identify opportunities. So they used AI as well for the past 5, 10 years. I think they've been doing this. But they've used AI to actually find opportunities in the market where their algorithm would work. And then right here, this is the owner. This is Dr. Simons, and you can see in the background is all of his work, and a lot of this um, and these are just parts of different financial models that he's created over his life um, for Renaissance Technologies. And I think Parth is going to talk about industry specific considerations.
Yeah, so some industry specific considerations to tailor automation. So we have two main sectors. I mean, one main sector, of course, is the financial sector. So there's in the financial sector, there's a lot of different things, and this includes banking, insurance, and investment. So all of these topics have very unique processes and requirements. So because of this, we must tailor automation solutions to specific sectors, which can once again, as mentioned earlier, optimize efficiency and performance while reducing costs as much as possible. So once again, as mentioned earlier, finance has a lot of regulatory compliance. So we must adhere regulation to a very strict code, and it must be developed in a very specific way. So we must comply with regulations such as GDPR, Sarbanes-Oxley, and PCI DSS.
So finally, in conclusion, um, three big points that we kind of just want you guys to walk away with. First, automation in finance. Was it? What is it? Automation in finance is using technologies to streamline processes, and this encompasses a wide range of applications, such as setting the right price point, such as algorithmic trading, everything, right? So this improves efficiency, reduces errors, and frees up time for humans. So right now, automation is being used by various different funds and individuals, such as the Renaissance Fund and Dr. Simon, specifically things such as algorithmic trading, risk management, and credit scoring. Every time you get a credit score, it's based off an algorithm. An individual isn't calculating your credit score. It's just an algorithm that gets your payments, the time you paid them in, how large the payments were. Of course, a few other factors, but and then they give you a credit score. Third, rapid AI growth has led to many funds implementing and integrating AI into their everyday use. And so this last part you guys have to pay attention to. As the growth will continue, many jobs will require some knowledge of AI and ML. So as this boom continues, you will need to know at least some things about AI and ML to stay relevant in the workforce. So, with that, we're going to be ending off, and let me go through the chat. Do you guys have any questions? You can unmute if you have questions. If not, send them in the chat.
I
So
think there was
Brujas
one
asked,
earlier.
what exactly is the blockchain? So the blockchain, it kind of first began as the Bitcoin Blockchain Explorer or something like that in like the 2010 or 2010, I believe. Um, so it's just a it's actually a company. And so what the company does is it just records transactions across the crypto market. So essentially, if you guys send, let's say I send Parth Bitcoin, right? That calculation of my wallet sending Parth's wallet Bitcoin needs to be done, and whoever does that calculation will also earn like a Bitcoin tax, right? So the blockchain is just the streamlined path that cryptocurrency goes through to get from point A to point B. And the reason why it's so important is because you can also earn money just because you helped out in a blockchain exchange.
And just adding on to what Audit mentioned. So, if you think about the conventional banking system where everything is run by the government, crypto is a decentralized, a decentralized currency. So there's miners all across the world that the transactions are running based off of. That's why crypto is decentralized, and that's why a lot of people trust it more than putting all their money directly to the government, since they might not trust their country, or due to hyperinflation in countries, um, due to wars and economic issues, that kind of thing. Yeah, and any more
Okay, and
questions,
then
you guys can unmute or just put it in the chat.
yeah, I think admin asked, not our admin, but somebody named admin, we only doing this topic or make anything we want implementing AI. So the topic that we are covering for the Pitch Fest, for all the prizes is examples of automation in finance, right? So implementing AI could be something about automation in finance. And finance doesn't just mean Wall Street. Finance could mean finding the right price point for something or something like that, right? So, as long as your topic covers um, automation in finance, which implementing AI does. So, yes, you can use implementing AI if you want to, but no, everybody isn't tied to using implementing AI. You guys can do whatever you want.
Yeah, just to add on. So, a more concrete example of how you could, think about finance and automation in like your pitch would be creating a solution to, let's say, use AI to automate how people can trade better. So, for example, that may be giving them more information, doing things that would provide them with information that previously they didn't have. So, think about how ways that people can gain that information from AI and automation, and how do you help them, let's say, do better in finance? So it's kind of like a personal finance, financial literacy kind of idea. So those are some things that you can address.
So Shrista asked a question, and her question is, what steps are currently being taken to ensure ethical considerations in regards to automation? So there are many AI bodies across the entire, like AI governing bodies across the entire world. I think the um, the United Nations actually put out a statement regarding to AI and the limits of automation. So it's not like AI is going to take your job or anything like that right now. There are many steps with, like, for example, let's say I started a hedge fund and I wanted to use algorithmic trading. I would have to go to the Federal Trade Commission or the SEC or something like that, and I would have to show them my algorithm, and I would have to explain what it does, and then it would have to be cleared by them and be regarded to as like somewhat ethical, correct? So there are many like barriers to ensure this um ethical continuations to AI. I think Parth also could add on to that.
Yeah. So just adding on to that, so an industry term that's going around right now, in relates to automation, is taking a human-centric approach. So this means consider your employees and your company before just looking at your profit numbers. So involve your employees in decision making of applying AI to your company. So um, if I could, for example, implement some type of AI that would eliminate 50% of my company, and we would have to lay off half of everybody, and this would only slightly improve profit margins. We want to take a human-centric approach and possibly delay that to a further date, and because our employees come first. So that's kind of the industry norm right now.
Yeah. And then Yeah, kind of adding on to what Parth said, there's lots of ethical guidelines and standards. So many organizations have implemented ethical guidelines to like and just as standards for the design, development, and kind of like deployment of AI systems or just automated systems in general. And so I think a lot of these guidelines like require you to be transparent about your automation usage, have accountability for your automation usage, and you have to consider societal impacts as well in your automation usage. So it doesn't matter if your AI is perfect, if it has societal impacts, then and it's not meeting the guidelines and standards, then it will get shut down. And lots of companies are also having, for example, Google, um, I heard it are having, they're involving their employees in the deployment of these automated systems. And while the employees are deploying these automated systems, they are receiving training. So lots of people, so lots of steps are currently being taken. But I think the biggest one is like standards and regulations about what you can and can't do in the AI space.
All right. If there's any other questions, we can. Okay, great. There's another question. So, um, all right, go ahead and answer the audit.
So Bharat asked, so for the pitch fest, we are meant to answer the prompt while being in line with automation. So what a pitch fest is essentially you're pitching an idea to us, and your idea has to do with automation and finance. So there is no real prompt. As long as you are under the tree of automation and finance, you are fine. So, like for example, you could talk about um, an AI algorithm in financial trading and how that helps different companies. But there is no prompt per se. It's really like creating a product. And as long as your product has to do with automation and finance in some sense, then you're fine.
Yeah, just to add on to that. So, this presentation is just a topic area that you can really talk about. So, let's say you're thinking of, as I said before, let's say you're thinking about using this idea to create a product, right? But you're not limited to automation. You're not limited. So, for example, the prompt is about using technology to solve like to create a better tomorrow, right? So that could be using automation to tackle climate change, to tackle health, education, improving, healthcare system. So there's a lot of areas that you can really develop into. The goal of this prompt being so vague is that we really want to see how well you can take technology and the skills that you have and use it to create a product. So there's no you don't have to talk about finance, you don't have to talk about automation. There's just an area that could be very interesting in terms of, helping developing economies or helping individuals who don't have necessarily the resources that big hedge funds have in finance.
So, Siami said, sorry, to clarify, this means that automation in finance is not
Hmm.
required for our final pitch. No, as long as your topic contains some sense of automation in finance. So, automation in finance, as I said, can be many things. It can be a trading algorithm, it can be the price point for someone to price their IPO, initial public offering at. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So, it's not required.
Yeah, so it can be a factor, but it doesn't need to include it at all. So it can be if you want to include a little bit, you can, but it's automation finance is just a topic area that we think about that like we consider as an interest area that maybe you can look about. So this is kind of just a workshop that we're creating. Yeah. Okay. So I guess that's all the questions that we have. Thank you also so much for coming. We have noted down everyone who has attended, and so Yeah, everything looks great, and yeah, thank you all so much for coming, and we hope you have amazing rest of the conference. So next up, we have Jeremy De La Rosa, who has been working in AI and Web3 for nearly 2 decades. So he's presenting on an area about how technology can really be used to foster a sense of innovation. So thank you all so much for coming.